The idea of classic characters making an appearance in a big blockbuster series like the MonsterVerse has intrigued fans of both the Toho and legendary set of monster films for quite some time. We've gotten a good taste of what a classic kaiju could be like in a Hollywood action-packed CGI monster fest. And after the well-received adaptation of Mechagodzilla, the possibility for more legacy monsters making a comeback in future MonsterVerse content is very much alive and kicking. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves just yet, because we are forgetting about a cameo appearance that was easy to miss in Godzilla King of the Monsters. We covered this Easter egg before, but this skeleton is indeed a callback to Anguirus, Godzilla's main ally throughout the Toho films outside of Mothra, and the very first monster that Godzilla ever fought. In the MonsterVerse, we didn't get any explanation about how this skeleton came to be. We were all just left to assume that it died whenever the civilization around Godzilla's lair was destroyed. But with the mysterious Titan War now known, let's go back to the Anguirus skeleton and theorize on just how the Titan died. Remember everyone, this is just my own fan theory and none of this is official, but nonetheless, I hope you enjoy. Let's get to it.
This way, quickly!
Such sublime beauty, do you not agree, Doctor?
This theory begins tens of thousands of years before the events of Godzilla vs. Kong. The Gojira were kings, and our Godzilla and Anguirus developed a sort of symbiotic relationship, working together to fight off any threats that attacked the reptilian gods. The two formed one hell of an effective team when it came to slaughtering Mutos, defending the Hollow Earth from any hellbent titans, and stopping an alien invasion a time or two. Anguirus, like the Toho line of films, was Godzilla's most loyal and willing subject, using his thick shell to block blows directed at the big G-Man, and always being available for a well-aimed teamwork strike. The monsters were undefeated in combat. After so much time spent fighting together, the two titans eventually went their separate ways. Perhaps they knew their relationship had run its course, or maybe they just wanted to get some alone time, as we know the titans are very much fond of that. For an indeterminable amount of time, Godzilla and Anguirus never came within sight of each other. The Earth is too vast for two individuals to just stumble upon one another. And this is back when the planet was full of titans, so being able to single each other out of a crowd would have been difficult for them. In a past theory on the channel, we created a story where the ancient war was between more than just Godzilla and Kong's kind, but actually all life underneath the surface, including humans. When this great rebellion started, Godzilla attempted to contact Anguirus with a mighty alpha roar, but he was met with silence. He knew his old friend was likely not dead. He would sense such a loss. But this didn't make things at ease in his primitive yet thoughtful mind. Godzilla took this silence as the ultimate betrayal. His once most trusted companion was nowhere near to be found, yet he still wasn't aware of why he was being ignored. In the thousands of years worth of time that the two titans didn't come in contact with one another, Anguirus had gone into deep hibernation on and off again. But it wasn't until a strange new species came into existence when Anguirus started to once again show himself to any other living creatures. Anguirus was fond of the early humans who managed to do so much even though they were so small. He was reluctant at first to stick near those strange beings, but over hundreds of years of relative coexistence, as some of these early humans settled near Anguirus' lair, the monster soon grew protective over them, almost like they were his pets. Anguirus would use his mighty shell to protect them from any wild Hollow Earth storm and any falling debris. Anguirus was slowly forgetting his place as a minion of Godzilla, and for some time, all thought of the big G-Man was cast to the very back of his animalistic conscience. But the Titans aren't like normal animals. They have many traits that are much closer to our own. Anguirus and his human followers weren't a large and powerful society like the Gojiras or the Kongs. In the end, they wanted to keep to themselves and not worry about such troubles. This is why when Godzilla reached out to Anguirus, the monster did not want a part in a senseless war between Titans and humans. Ghidorah was the last threat to the balance of the planet, and once he was defeated, there hadn't been a true threat for quite some time, as the Gojira had finally managed to stop the Mutos from having a prime evolve. Anguirus in his thoughtful brain was able to understand that war for no reason, simply for being different, was a waste of life. So when he heard Godzilla's call, he never even gave his old pushy ally a chance. Let's jump back to Godzilla. After Anguirus ignored his alpha call to arms as the Great War began, Godzilla's instincts kicked in, and his once trusted friend was now an enemy. Their past would keep him from hunting down the treasonous Anguirus, but if they were to meet in battle, he would not treat him any different than his enemies. At this point, Anguirus was still known to go off for months at a time, to look for energy or simply to go for a walk. No one knew and no one questioned the Titan. On one of the most horrible days of the Great War, his people came under attack. By the time Anguirus made his way back from his long territorial hike, he found the charred remains of the small village that his humans called home. The markings around the area made the attackers very clear. Only one Titan breed can breathe fire strong enough to completely melt Earth. Anguirus' Titan instincts kicked in full force, and he rushed straight for the Gojira city. By the time Anguirus showed up to Godzilla's lair, the city had already been destroyed. There was no life, nothing. He let out a deafening cry, and it echoed throughout the vast systems of tunnels and chambers. Only one answered. In the Toho legacy, Anguirus was the first monster to ever fight Godzilla on screen, and that battle was not for the faint-hearted. Their MonsterVerse meeting was no different. Godzilla was at peak rage after losing his great city and worshippers, Anguirus the same. Titans are thoughtful, dare I say, emotional creatures. But all of that was now gone. The only thing left was pure animalistic instincts. They charged each other without holding back, like they never met before this moment. Godzilla was vastly more powerful, but the shell of Anguirus kept him in the fight. Even the atomic blast couldn't penetrate his mighty spiked shell. But Anguirus grew tired. The monster gave it his all, but did not have the strength to finish off Godzilla. In a last-ditch effort to inflict damage, Anguirus threw himself at Godzilla. But the G-Man caught him in midair, slammed the shelled Titan to the ground, and placed his clawed hands on either side of Anguirus' mouth. With a horrible snap, Godzilla broke his old ally's jaw, without even hesitating. Anguirus shrieked and fell to the ground. He could fight no more. This is where the Titan's sad fate met its ultimate end. Titans don't just die like normal life. If you leave them breathing, there is a good chance that they can recover. Godzilla, after brutally injuring Anguirus, simply lumbered away without looking back. Anguirus went unconscious and stayed that way. His jaw would heal, but it would take years for the monster to fully recover. But he didn't have that time. As the Great War was reaching unsurpassed casualties, the Gojira had made a choice to flood a percentage of the vast array of tunnels and chambers leading to the Hollow Earth. The water came crashing through, all around, eventually making its way to Godzilla's destroyed city and the sleeping Anguirus. Without ever having a chance, Anguirus was consumed in water and drowned without even knowing. This is why the body still remains in the sunken city where the crew from King of the Monsters detonates the bomb, destroying all memory of the city and Anguirus. Turns out Godzilla had left his old friend's remains as a constant reminder that even his greatest of allies could betray him one day. A large play in why the King has trust issues during the current MonsterVerse timeline. So what do you think of this theory? Make sure and let us know in the comments. Do you think Anguirus would work in the MonsterVerse if he was ever more than just an Easter egg? That may be a video for another day, so leave us your best ideas, everyone. You guys all know what to do if you like this content. This has been Jacob, and I will see you in the next one.